Ghana, and perhaps try to see if we had taken that bit seriously, if it could have helped in any way to avert the events of Sunday 2 weeks ago. So that's what's on the menu this afternoon. My name is Victor Achutamaklo. Unfortunately, today, Fentiu Tahiru Fentiu is on assignment elsewhere. He'll be back tomorrow. He's unable to join us on Game Plan today, at least not in the flesh. But technology has made it possible for him to join the conversation, and so at some point we do expect that the Joy Sports editor is going to join the conversation. Daniel Cranton is on his way. Sichope Philip Atrim is already inside the studio, and I'm going to quickly introduce him, and then I'll introduce our other guest, who's an unfamiliar face of voice in the studio, and then we will get the conversation underway. Sicho, how you doing?
I'm fine. And good afternoon to everybody doing listening and perhaps the watching on social media. Why smiling plates like that?
So, I have to be receptive. I have to show you some warmth.
Who, me?
Yes. You're a guest, are you not?
I'm not a guest. I'm not a guest. Somebody who was part of the day one of the show.
Number one agenda.
I'm gonna feed you of the show.
Welcome, Sichu. And
thank you, bro.
So there's I don't know if you've seen the video from Wednesday, or was it Tuesday, when the GFA led delegation went to Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Charlie, they give to them.
Yeah.
They said they will show them and they will force them to respect Kotoko, and we'll show you that we are hard to forget Kotoko.
Yeah. No, I think that, you know, the way the GFA has reacted post the sad incident, I mean, calls for the reaction that they got, or the lashing that they got from the chief, and I think they deserve it, right? and I'm happy they got it.
Yeah. But
it's possible in Ghana because of how we live as a culture.
Right. We'll get into that conversation, and also because I have very different expectation of the clubs themselves in how we got here. Because it is important that part of the healing process requires truth, honesty, and accountability. And everyone needs to know how they have helped, quote and unquote, in
as for the clubs, but you will get there.
We'll get there. So our guest this afternoon is Dr. Collins Ajiman Bedu, of the Senior Faculty and Sports Psychology Lecturer, University of Ghana, immediate past President of the Ghana Psychological Association, Director, Pan-African Doctoral Academy at the University of Ghana, Legon, incoming President, Pan-African Psychology Union Office in South Africa. I believe he's a consultant, psychologist, and human capital builder, and founding director, Psych UP Business Solutions, Ghana. I do hope I got that acronym right. Doc, am I right?
Achu, well done. So it's Psych Up.
Psych Up.
But you are right, Psych UP.
Okay.
We Psych you up.
I saw both U and the P in caps, so I assume that they were.
Exactly.
But welcome to our studios. First of all, tell us about what you do, and before we even get into the conversation of sports psychology, just so that people get to know, beyond the credentials that we've listed, who it is you are and what you do and why you're important to this conversation.
Okay, thank you very much, Achu, and it's always a joy to be with all of you at Joy.
Boss.
Don't make quite the entry.
Boss. So, professionally, I am a psychologist, and I take pride in doing research and also applying the research in my everyday life, in helping relevant stakeholders to benefit from the research that I do. And so primarily I am at the University of Ghana, as you rightly mentioned, Department of Psychology, and I do handle a number of psychology oriented areas, including sports psychology. And when we talk of psychology, many people may be thinking of just a side of it, but I must say psychology is very broad, we have different applied areas. The goal is, how do we apply the principles and theories of psychology to be able to enhance a number of things we do at different settings. So in the field of work, you may have an industrial and organizational psychologist who is also a performance psychologist, but this time to the field of work. We do have those who support students, school-going years, and that may bring into question a school psychologist, someone to support how we develop curricula, how we'll be able to teach well, learn well. Educational psychologist comes in there. We have clinical psychology, which is the one of the popular ones we know. When we begin to veer off from how we do things, and then it begins to affect the way we are thinking, how we are feeling, and our behavior begins to veer off. Yes, these clinical psychologists comes in to help us realign, improve upon how we are feeling in terms of how we are thinking, feeling, and then behaving. Then we do also have those who apply the principles and theories of psychology to support athletes in every field of sports.
Right.
And that is where sports psychology comes in. And so it's a beautiful opportunity to say, when we talk of psychology, it covers a broad array of areas of interest, including sports.
Have you, and when I say you, I mean yourself and your outfit and the various organizations that you represent as far as psychology and its learning in Ghana is concerned, have you had any kind of involvement in sports at any level at all in Ghana?
Well, we have. I must say, we do have a number of practitioners who have supported both local teams in Ghana, and if you look at the past administration of GFA, especially when former President Kwesi Nyantakyi was at the helm of affairs, I am aware from where I sit, a number of psychologists work with the then GFA. I remember Prof. Minta, I remember our own Dr. Ofori, all of them supporting GFA. I also remember Mr. Samuel Yossen, who has also worked with a number of the teams in Ghana. And aside that, in terms of individual athletes and some of the challenges they go through, we've had a number of our practitioners giving support to them. And that will be at the individual level, not the team coordinated effort. So when it comes to psychologists working with athletes and teams, yes, we do have the history, and we continue to do that to support the development of our sports.
Yeah. And I'm sure listeners would only identify or recognize Dr. Patrick Ofori, Prof. Minta as the two, if you like, prominent from your establishment who have been at the forefront of football administration or any kind. Why is it that we don't see more involvement of professional psychologists at any levels working with teams, right?
Yeah.
To improve expected outcomes?
Well, I mean, actually, it's a very fine question you've asked. And I must say, Prof. Minta, Patrick Ofori, Samuel Yossen, these are guys who have been in the industry for some time now. And one would have expected that perhaps we did things differently. As you rightly mentioned, I'm a human capital builder.
Yeah.
My interest would have been, with the experience of these older colleagues in the field of sports, what could we have done different? We could have possibly used them to build a unit within, say, GFA. We could have used them to build a unit within GFA, and then we will grow another set of practitioners who will support the entire GFA and all other sporting activities that we do run in Ghana. And that has not been the case. And so from what you rightly said, yes, we may know popular names, but there are a number of practitioners within the performance psychology area of practice who can support sporting activities in Ghana. So it would have been appreciated, it would have been more profound if these older colleagues, experienced ones who have worked with GFA, had been constituted to build a unit that will support all the sporting activities that we do run in Ghana. But that has not been the case. And I must say we have a number of psychologists in Ghana, well trained, finely trained, who equally could be incorporated into our sports management in Ghana.
Often when our national teams go out there and they don't really do well, even our Ghanaian clubs who travel outside, the question has always been, why didn't we get them a psychologist to deal with all of the issues that we suspect could have been resolved by a professional like that? What is the relationship between the work of a psychologist like that and the expected outcomes?
All right. So Ghanaians are right. And for me, for Ghanaians to advocate for psychologists to be included in our setup, it means a lot, simply because they are beginning to reflect on the many benefits of having a psychologist to support athletes and also the team in general. Now, if you look at what psychologists may offer, a broad array of things. Foremost, the psychologist may be interested in the individuals involved. And so in the case of a team, each athlete is of relevance to the psychologist. Then you look at the team as a whole. So I'm looking at the level of analysis of support that the psychologist may give. So you look at the individual, you look at the team as a whole, and sometimes you may have to even manage the feedbacks from the entire country in the case of Ghana. Now, in the case of Ghana, the constitution and how things get done, the culture even at GFA, may be something that the psychologist should be interested in, because if you don't manage those interrelationships well, then there will be challenges. Now, if you look at the individual level, a number of things goes into sports. Elsewhere, right from the budding stages, school going years, the academies that they do have in schools, being it primary, being a junior high school, being a secondary school, being at university levels or teacher education, all the academies are strong. You will not go to any of these levels without having a psychologist. The role of the psychologist is to support and have oversight of the growth trajectory within the sporting industry. So while the coaches will be interested in the core business, the psychologists will be interested in other things that support the core business, including how you manage fears, including the motivation that comes along with it, including the mental skill training, including even adjusting to anxiety. The popular question, why did our brother and one of our ace miss that penalty? It was heightened level of competition, so much anxiety. At this point, what would have been the support psychologist would have already provided in a likely situation we have an opportunity like this. You would have gone through ways of reducing your level of anxiety when it matters most, and psychologists are there to help. Now, at the individual level, some players or athletes may have to manage setbacks. Some go through family challenges, and we've had a number of cases of athletes going through challenges. You remember Tiger Woods?
Yeah.
He went through series of challenges, family-oriented challenges, and so you see the spillover, the crossover challenges here and there. If they are unable to balance these challenges, it definitely affects their performance on the field of play. And so you look at how psychologists will be able to help the athletes manage competing challenges in their personal lives, competing challenges as far as their relationship with others are concerned. And at the individual level, we need to do these things to help them recover. Sometimes players may even go through injuries. It is not easy if you are a player, a high flyer, and then you experience some form of injury. Now think about some of these competitive clubs where those on the bench is a full team for another club. To go through an injury setback can be a big worry for such an athlete, and certainly you need a psychologist to begin to work with such a player so that gradually the mental health state will be strong, will be adequately prepared, and then psychologists will also have to help even readjusting the person back to the field of play. Now, managing fame, managing emotions are critical in every sporting activity. You remember the case of Zinedine Zidane.
Yeah.
I mean, what happened? It's all about how athletes will manage their emotions, how they'll be able to manage challenges even on the field of play. And so, in principle, the before life of athletes and teams, you need a psychologist to come in there. During even a game, you need a psychologist to also become an analyst to see the body language, the emotional expressions, the tempo and everything, the level of concentration, the level of attention, and all these things. The psychologist must work alongside the other team members to be able to support these players.
Right. I've been told we have 4 minutes to wrap up. So do this for me in 2 minutes each. Earlier, you used an expression, mental skills training.
Yeah.
You explain what that is, what the mental skills is, and what the training bits involves in 2 minutes, and then we'll wrap it up with my final question.
All right. So basically, when you talk of mental skill training, it has to do with the kinds of training that the psychologist will offer to the athletes, so they will be able to perform at their highest levels. And so within the field of sports, setting goals so that you begin to visualize what is to happen. Now, Ghana are going to play against Uruguay. You need to envision the level of tempo, how competitive that will be, and the level of composure that is required. Psychologists will help you deal with that. Now, going to play with big names. How do you manage who am I and who they are? And so you need to help these athletes to manage their fears. And these are all mental skill training. Then positive self-talk. We will be able to do it. Engaging in that, psychologists will help these players to engage in positive self-talk, trust themselves, develop confidence, build their self-worth, self-confidence to be able to perform at that level. So these are all things that the psychologists will help players to do.
All right.
They wouldn't look down on where they are coming from, being it local players, as we will say, or professional players. They'll be able to harmonize their thoughts and then perform at that level.
Then, given everything you've explained, you would perhaps agree that the GFA made the right call in hiring a psychologist for the Black Stars after everything else that has happened.
Well, what I would say is that, in fact, we've been nudging GFA, the ministry, to incorporate psychologists in their dealings in all sporting activities. And I must say, for them to take the decision that we need a psychologist is a laudable one. And I am happy as a professional. And that is something that we need to commend. But the challenge, however, is the decision as to who to hire. And that is where the biggest question is. Because before an expatriate professional can come and work, indeed, you need to be licensed by the regulator. I mean, if I'm a medical doctor, I can't just walk and say I am in UK and I'm going to practice in a hospital. No, you need to go through the regulator. And so I'll be interested to find out whether the psychologist we have hired, has he been licensed by the regulator, Ghana Psychology Council? Right. If that has not been done, I think that is an affront on our law, and professionals within Ghana will not be happy. I would have loved, perhaps we consider a Ghanaian psychologist to work with the GFA, simply because context-specific issues, nuances. I mean, if someone comes and says, I saw a bird in my hotel room as an athlete, how will this man understand from where he's coming from? So I would have been happier if perhaps a local psychologist was engaged to support the team. Certainly, we know where we are. The economy may not be strong. Obviously, we may be paying more for an expatriate professional than a Ghanaian professional. And I am just sitting here asking myself, We live in a period where we need to collaborate to get things done. Did the GFA consult GPC, Ghana Psychology Council? Did they consult Ghana Psychological Association? Did they consult all the sports and exercise training institutions in Ghana? Did they really advertise? Did they advertise?
You would have answers to, because you are with the psychologists.
Well, I am with them, and I must say, first of all, the practitioner who have been hired, as far as I know and where I sit, has not been licensed by the regulator of Ghana. Are we going to pay this person? That will be illegality. Secondly, before you hire someone within a particular jurisdiction, what we do know, especially when we are using the taxpayers' money, advertise, do the recruitment, do go through the rigor of selection. In South Africa, they will only do this unless they don't get anyone within the land. And I believe with the over 500 psychologists, especially from performance-oriented areas of practice, is mind-boggling to hear that we did not advertise, we did not consider a Ghanaian psychologist to come in. And so, yes, I'm happy we have a psychologist they are incorporating, but the decision who to hire and the fact that the person is not licensed is a worry to the professionals within the space.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Collins Bedu Ajiman. I believe that's the right
certainly actually
sequence here. The only thing is I'm not sure for a fact if the psychologist is going to be paid by the sports ministry, because not every employee of the FA is paid by the ministry. Yes, the ministry typically takes care of the Black Stars, but we have known that in the past, the technical director, for example, was not paid by the sports ministry. Sicho, if you have any final words on this conversation, and then...
No, look, I've always said this for many years, that Ghana needs a psychologist. And the recent happenings to our national team is not just football matters. Let's look, it's not only the footballers who need psychologists. I even think that the FA people themselves, including the president, needs one, because it's all over the place, really. When you watch him talk to the players, when you watch him, you know, the way he's running the...
Are you kidding me?
I'm serious. I'm serious.
Kotoko needs a psychologist.
Yeah, he needs it. He might think he's there.
Association.
I'm telling you, he needs it. Kotoko needs it even more than the players. And I've seen him. I've seen his body language. I've seen the way he talks around the play. We saw that video that came out. That didn't look normal. That didn't look like a man who was on top of issues. That looked like a man who was struggling and was... No, he needs it. So I've always advocated that we need a team psychologist. When you see the way, when the players wear that Black Star shirt, it weighs so heavily on them. As soon as they take these shirts off and get into different shirts for their clubs, they look like different animals. You can't explain that in football terms. It's impossible. Like, no tactical board will explain it. Will make sense of it. Maybe his expertise can, but that is not football. Nobody can tell me Iñaki Williams, Antoine Semenyo, Thomas Partey, Mohamed Kudus, and all these players we've got, when they turn up for the Black Stars, they can't beat Niger. With the greatest respect to them, they can't qualify for the AFCON. They can't win a game at the AFCON. It makes no sense. That is not you can't explain it, right? It's like the way Real Madrid win Champions League games. Soon. It doesn't make any football. So I've always said it, that there's something about the Black Stars now that makes these players timid, makes them play within themselves. They don't want to take the risk. They don't want to make mistakes. They only want to protect their names, and some way, somehow, it's affected the entire team. And there's also a matter of posture that a psychologist will be able to read into and tell the team how to posture itself, reading the room from how Ghanaians view the team at the moment. I think we need it. And it makes a very good point. I mean, I'm not in the spaces there, that it's important that we have a team psychologist, but it must be done and done right.
Yeah.
So if the psychologist is not licensed and it wasn't advertised, then maybe there's an issue. And that is where I wonder if they wrote to the Ghana's, is it Ghana Psychologist Association something?
Yeah.
As the body, I wonder if the body has written to the FA to seek.
Well, for now, as far as I know, the Ghana Psychology Council has written to the FA to find out if they were not aware. Then they are being prompted.
Yeah.
And secondly, like I mentioned, I mean, we are happy we are incorporating psychologists, but I think the approach should not also demotivate practitioners, and also we are concerned about context-specific issues that may come to the fore. Because if you are working with a Ghanaian, you are working with Ghanaians. Even the over 30 million coaches we have in Ghana, and what we say, what we post about these our players, should they make mistakes, their mannerisms and all that, can affect the psychology of the players. We have had situations where some of our players says they don't want to even play for Ghana again. Why? The whole Ghanaians, the over 30 million coaches, we all need support. And if you have a psychologist, the psychologist will help all Ghanaians to appreciate that, look, our comments, the way we troll, the way we insult, the way we speak against even our rising stars at a burden level could affect how they feel, how they think, and how they begin to behave and compose themselves during tournaments.
So I get that thing. I also think that professionals, as they may be across all board, doesn't mean that they can be successful in every jurisdiction, right? Like for example, when you talk about waste management, you can go and bring some of the best waste managers from Germany. When they come to Ghana, they'll struggle because our waste is different, right? The way we segregate our waste is different.
There's a
the kind of waste
context.
The kind of waste we generate is different from what they have. The background and training, so it might take time for them to settle in. I guess it's the same thing for medical practitioners, but even the same thing for lawyers at times. And so maybe the Belgian coming into Ghana, the context of the Ghanaian mentality, the Ghanaian way of thinking, the Ghanaian way of perceiving the sports is what maybe then would be lacking. And I hope that the FA has done their due diligence. Otherwise, having been prompted, then they need to look at bringing in an extra body to work with him while they seek the license, or they seek, the lawful thing.
Actually, it's not about who is paying this practitioner.
It's about once you're practicing on the line.
It's about the principles, the laws, and also getting it right. Like I rightly said, if we want to set up a unit to support all the other sports, and we incorporate another person to work with other identified psychologists with the goal of helping all other sports and activities in Ghana, excellent idea. Let's get the principle right.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Collins Bedu Ajiman of the Ghana Psychologists Council. And we're going to take the final word on this from the former Galka boss, J.Y. Appiah. And then we close the docket on this conversation.
I'll change the whole setup, because me as I sit here, I don't understand why the FA should go and employ expatriate as psychologists. We have so many departments in the universities that do psychology. Why should we spend money and go and employ somebody as a psychologist in Ghana here? And it's already this one. It's a disgrace even to the psychologists in the country.
So yes, that was J.Y. Appiah speaking earlier to Muftar Nabila Abdullah. You're live on Game Plan on Joy 99.7 FM. Game Plan is proudly brought to you by Petrosol, Platinum Energy, energizing dreams, and Betway. Get way more. We'll be back after a breather.
Are you ready to get way more chances to win with Betway? Every single day, you have the key to unlock 5 free spins on Mega Money Wheel, where you stand to win a massive 1 million Ghana cedis jackpot. All you need to do is to log in and take your spin. Exclusive to Betway. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet the responsible way. Betway. Get way more.
All right, welcome back to Game Plan on Joy 99.7 FM, proudly brought to you by Petrosol, Platinum Energy, energizing dreams, and Betway. Get way more. Now, are you ready to get way more chances to win with Betway? Every single day, you have the key to unlock 5 free spins on Mega Money Wheel, where you stand to win a massive 1 million Ghana cedi jackpots. So what are you waiting for? Log into betway.com.gh today and take your spin, all thanks to Betway. Terms and conditions apply. This is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, the bet the responsible way, Betway, get way more. Now the clock strikes noon and you start to fantasize about lunch. It's been a busy day, so some hot wache will be perfect. But then again, some banku and pepper and fish too wouldn't be bad, Charlie. Or maybe some rice and stew with some fully loaded Ghanaian salad by the side. Well, whatever is for lunch, we know the perfect beverage to make your lunchtime complete. Elevate your lunchtime experience with bitter malt and discover richness in every sip, grafted to perfection with the finest ingredients and fortified with vitamin C. Bitter malt injects a burst of richness into your day. So grab a bottle of bitter malt today and discover the rich taste of 100% true malt today. Now, do you want to fill your tank and have your dreams energized? Then look no further. Drive straight to Petrosol now. Celebrating 10 years of excellence, Petrosol, National Best Quality Awards winner, rewards you with the Energizing Dreams promo. So there are going to be 3 draws, 3 already gone by and 3 more to go. We don't share tricycles, motorbikes, TVs, fridges, and even fuel coupons. But the best part, 2 brand new Suzuki Espressos are waiting for 2 lucky winners. That's why you've got to rush to the nearest Petrosol station, fill your tank up with quality fuel in full quantity, and enter the draw. This will be your chance to win big, Charlie. The promo ends on the 31st of March. Petrosol, energizing dreams. Now, this Valentine's Day, the stars are lining up to give you the ultimate love experience. Prepare for an evening of total romance as KBKB Music and Image Bureau presents the highly anticipated Vitamilk Love Night 2025. So, Sishu, all the plans that you've made, this is going to be the icing on the cake. 7 p.m. tonight at the Grand Arena. Come feel the magic of high life as Kwabna sets the tone for his special 20th anniversary alongside mind-blowing performances from Kiddy, Kim Promise, Efia, Olive the Boy, and a lot more. Tickets are selling now for only 300 Ghana cedis singles and then 500 Ghana cedis for doubles at *000 *0 *1# *000 *0 *1# or visit vitamilklovenights.com. Make the night even more special by reserving a table for 2, 4 or more. Dial 055 1313 134 to book now. Charlie, Sicho, how many tables are we getting?
Let me make consultations.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me consult my general manager.
The general manager.
Yeah, general manager of the home.
She will determine.
She will
the
determine
number of the tables.
Absolutely,
exactly.
She determines.
Fantastic. The Vitamilk Love Night 2025 is a KBKB music event brought to you by Vitamilk and proudly produced by Image Bureau. In case you're wondering, KBKB is Kwabna. Joy FM, My Endless Love is brought to you by Shirtless Cocktail Drink. Just fill a glass with ice, shake the cocktail, and pour it. You can go for your mojito, Long Island iced tea, Mai Tai, or Pina Colada. For bulk purchases, call us on 0243 224 018. 0243 224 018 or 0204 696 996 0204 696 996. You're still live on Game Plan on Joy 99.7 FM. Since you're still here, Muftau Nabila Abdullah is also here. Time for us to get into a few matters happening back home, and then we'll end the show with a review of the UEFA Champions League games that were played in midweek. Sisho, so let's start from the very first charges that the GFA prosecutor rolled out. So immediately they charged the 2 clubs for failing to control their players and officials in check, and then there was a separate charge for Nso Atreman for failing to keep their supporters in check. A similar charge for the one that they had not even finished answering for what happened in the home match versus Mediama Sporting Club. There was that, and then there was another charge for the players who were involved in the kung fu fights. The superstars of that kung fu movie. There was a separate charge for them. We've had the emergency meeting, and you saw the statements. People don't seem to believe that statement was a product of the meeting and that it was actually written before the meeting itself. Since then, the FA has met with the various supporter groups. Kotoko have, together with Hearts of Oak, made a proposal to the Ghana Football Association, on the back of which Kotoko met with the GFA. And they didn't seem very happy that the GFA did not visit them much earlier. have you been impressed by the FA's response to this, taking into account everything that they've done, including the 19-page documents, was it, that they released recently with the enhanced security protocols that were listed, and then boxing Kumasi Asante Kotoko's demands as well for me?
Achu, this is why Ghana football is failing. And the reason is that when there are crisis, when there's a crisis, watch the reaction of leaders, right? And that would inform you if the organization we are talking about is in good hands. The FA's reaction to this disaster has been a bomb, right? It's been terrible because they've taken absolutely no responsibility, and all they've gone on to do. And when you mention the charges, that look, they've been doing these charges forever, and in the end somebody has lost his life because of the same sport. Now, and Kotoko would be very, very, of course, angry that the FA didn't visit early, because I was looking at an FA and its leadership. Perhaps the president, they claim he is not well. I don't believe it. I just think he's hiding. And that is my personal opinion. I mean, I know his people are gonna. They should send him the video. I'm saying it.
He is well.
I think he's hiding.
We know for a fact
he's working on the Black Stars.
Yes, we know for a fact that he's moving around. Also, he's been working on his CAF
executive. Yes,
he's well.
He's very well, and I don't believe that whole lie that he's not well. He's traveling around, working on the Black Stars, visiting people, working on his agenda to be on the CAF EXCO, and wishing him all the best with that one. But that is the FA that is running Ghana football. Because once this happened, I was expecting that the FA president or the vice, or even the general secretary, the next day would be at the venue where the thing happened.
Yeah.
You want to go and have a look at it yourself. You want to go there and make a statement. You want to go there and hold a press conference. You want to go there and read your first reaction to it on that venue, at the place. Once you are done,
it's also symbolic.
Yeah, very symbolic. Once you are done, you are visiting the family. You are going to the club. You are speaking to people around it. You are on the ground. You are picking. You are immersed in the whole issue. You are meeting the security agencies. You are talking to those who matter. But what did we see? The FA went into hiding.
And they started pushing the responsibility around.
Then they started looking for who to blame. And as we speak, they've taken absolutely no responsibility. I've not seen Nswatriman write anything to take responsibility. I've not seen the FA take any responsibility. Nobody. It's almost as if the thing happened out of nothing, and we are finding a way to make sure it doesn't happen again. But nobody's saying that, look, we messed up. We are not doing it right. Give us time. Take a pause and let's do this. Look, the rapidness with which they came out with the security protocols for me even shows how unserious they are, because these things need deep consultation. This thing needs visits, like multiple visits to these venues. And you see, when you speak about security, every single match venue should have its own specific match security, because the venues are not the same. Unique because the venues are not the same. The challenges around there are different. And so when you bring this whole blanket thing about security protocol, it's funny because it will not work, and it hasn't worked for all these years, right? And it's the reason why some of us, wherever we go, we say, we won't hide it, that we have absolutely no belief and no trust in this FA. But now let me come to the clubs. We've seen the Kotoko and we've seen Hearts of Oak release a statement. It's also funny because I think that these two clubs are trying to use this opportunity to show their muscle and power, and then maybe win some more things to themselves. But if you ask me, they are about the two worst run clubs in the country. Yeah. Hearts and Kotoko, right? They are not run well. They are not doing their things well. And so when they demand that they need an automatic slot on the EXCO, my thinking is, like, what is it? What will you bring to the EXCO? Right? What would be your real use on the EXCO? Because if
what are they bringing that is already there, not there?
It's exactly my point, because those who are there are from clubs, and these clubs are not any worse than the clubs that you two run. So if you were running your clubs like Ali, Wedad, Sundowns, and I'm like,
the question that I've been asking,
actually, hang on, no, just hold on.
The question that, because I want you guys to answer that question.
Yeah.
Now we have at least one Kotoko rep on the executive council.
Yep.
Right. whether official or unofficial, we know he's there because of Kotoko. That is James Kwesi Appiah. What value has he added that is so unique, that is by virtue of his association with Kotoko, that we have to say, because of this value that the Kotoko brings?
An automatic. My point is simple. If Kotoko, Ghana football is a mess. Now, if you go to a country like Congo, and this issue happens, and TP Mazembe are saying that they need like an automatic rep to make decisions, I'm going to say, hang on. When you look at the way they are running their club, then maybe they've got something to offer. When you go to Tanzania, and Yanga and their brothers
or Simba
are saying that we need to be represented on decision making, I can pause and say that, okay, look at what they are doing, and they've clearly demonstrated that they know how to run football, at least with the little they are doing. So we can consider. But you Hassan Kotoko, you are about the worst run clubs in the country.
As we speak, Kotoko do not even have a board.
They don't have a board.
They haven't had a board since Nana Amponsa left.
Yes.
Now, if the FA were to pursue a strict enforcement of the license regulations, Kotoko would not be.
They wouldn't be playing. So they don't deserve. They've got numbers. You're the two biggest clubs, but the truth of the matter is, no two clubs have disgraced Ghana more than the two of you. Like it's the truth. So they need to take a pause. They need to use this opportunity to reflect and ask themselves why their power has waned so much. And look, some of the things they were demanding, like the commission, the reports that was written in 2020,
no,
in 2001, bro. A lot of the things that were written they don't work. They don't work into. How do you
you see, I don't think the lawyers and the people at Kotoko,
they've really read it.
I don't think they read it.
Because
I don't think.
No, it is not just a Kotoko hard thing. No, I actually felt that the two clubs were being a bit selfish, trying to take advantage of the demise of an ardent fan of local football.
Yeah.
To get certain benefits of their own. 2015, Opokunti was an executive committee member of the Ghana Football Association.
Yeah.
Frank Nelson Wonkolo was an executive committee member of the Ghana Football Association. Those people represented the two biggest clubs because they got onto the executive committee through those clubs. What exactly did they do that directly impacted Ghana football to the extent that we should just give you automatic slots onto the executive committee? Because you've had it before. You were there. Frank Nelson was there. Opokunti was there. And the two of them were there at the same time at the 2015 Ghana Football Association elections internally.
The only one, or one of the things that they mentioned that I think it's fair and it's been long overdue, but in fact you can put context to it, is when they are asking for a bigger share of the TV revenue.
TV rights.
But there is a caveat, and I've always said that, you see, when you go to countries that are able to package their league well and sell it in blocks, and by blocks I mean the domestic block and the international block.
So they do segmentation.
Then you've got the power to demand that for the domestic block, because you are showing most of our games domestically, we want a bigger share from the domestic block. Now for the international block, you are all going to receive the same, and this happens across the world. That for any league that is able to sell the whole league to another country outside its space, the international money it's like the Premier League money. The Premier League we are watching in Ghana, they are watching in Asia.
Yeah,
that is the international
TV rights.
Now when that money, because we watch Crystal Palace, we watch West Ham, we watch every team, all the 10 games a weekend in Ghana, we're able to watch. Those in the UK are not able to watch all 10 games a weekend.
Yeah.
So their best shot is to watch match of the day, the highlights package. Now, because all the games are available internationally, they share that money equally. However, for the domestic TV rights, they share it based on viewership and whose game is out there the more. So in some seasons, when your team is perfect, in the season that Leicester won the league, even though they were not number one, they rose astronomically because many people wanted to see Leicester. Are they gonna? So they can make that argument. But you see, because Ghana doesn't have the international block, and the only thing we have is the local block. All the other 16 GPO teams can say this. We have not asked you not to telecast our games. You have decided you are telecasting Kotoko and Hearts. So if Kotoko and Hearts want more of the money, then what we are also demanding is
More
equal broadcast. No, equal. So that nobody makes more money. We share the money equally. That's the thing. Because as we speak, the games that are on TV, we don't see all the games on TV. But the FA decides that it is Kotoko and Hearts that Ghanaians want to
put on TV.
So let's give them those games.
But
when it comes to business,
here's the other side of the argument, though.
yeah,
We do know for a fact.
yeah,
Of the 18 venues.
yeah.
Right, and there are not even 18 venues. I think there are about 15 or 14.
It's 9.
If you were to strictly look at specification
Yeah.
and which stadium design and architecture meets the specifications for modern league television broadcast,
Yeah.
how many of those venues would even pass for?
No, that's even a different conversation on its own.
No,
But currently, what we are talking about is that, just as he mentioned, Accra Lions can be coming up against Basake Holy Stars.
Yeah.
House of Folk is also playing against Eduana Stars. Because House of Folk and Kotoko wants more of the money, Accra Lions and Basake Holy Stars can also come and tell the FA, our game is available for TV broadcast. You can choose to pick it.
Yeah, and
But you will decide that you want to go and pick Eduana versus House of Oak.
I'm saying
that is not the problem of Basake Holy Stars and Accra Lions.
I get what you're saying.
The question I'm asking,
Yeah,
what
but-
I'm saying to
yeah,
Sichu is that beyond you demanding for your game to be broadcast and
Yeah.
telling us that it is available,
Yes.
there are
Do you meet the TV requirements for the venue?
There are requirements that your facility has to meet before we, like Basake. When you go there, you will get one TV angle.
Yeah. But here's the thing.
In Swatre,
Yeah.
one angle.
No, but here's the thing, Achu. Here's the thing. When clubs do pick venues for the league, they pick a secondary venue,
Oh yes, they do.
The alternate venue.
the alternate venue. If you're asking me that this match day you want to come to my venue but I can't play there, I'll tell you, okay, I'm going to my alternate venue. I'll play there because it meets, and it happens in Europe. But we saw PSG play Brest.
Yeah.
Brest's stadium
We're
couldn't
forced to
afford
go
it.
to the Olympic Stadium.
They were forced to. So it happens. They'll tell you, oh, TV is coming here. Oh, okay, cool. So we'll play.
But you see, too, if the category A doesn't meet the requirements, it be the B we go meet.
So what I'm saying is, you see, the clubs. What I'm saying is, the clubs can now say that even though Hearts and Kotoko are demanding more of the money, it is not our fault that their games are on TV every weekend. We are available.
It is the discretion of the FA. We are also
The
available.
games equally, so that we get the money equal. So you see, Kotoko and Hearts don't even have the power to demand it, as though the 16 clubs can also say that no, we are available for you to. So I saw the statement from Kotoko and Hearts, and they are saying the 100 security men with 20 military. It is not for the FA to decide. You see, these are things they have to negotiate with other agencies of state, depending upon where the games are and the availability of the personnel. Which other programs are in these places? It's not cast in stone that because you are playing a football.
And you know what, Sicho? You know what interesting thing? There is the possibility that a match which is happening in, like, say, in Swatre, the whole in Swatre community has less than 20 police officers.
Yep.
Let's just assume like that.
So we have,
You want 100 police officers there. How is that one going to be possible?
we have massive issues. And so when I saw this, I'm like, ooh, you're only thinking. And I looked at the statement. The one thing that actually got me to smile at it was, well, having demanded all of these things from the FA and perhaps government, you have not, in one sentence or even with one word, said anything about what you would do as clubs to make the league better or to make you as clubs better. And that is what my disappointment was. Because I already say we are going to do this better, who takes care of this better, we want to improve this.
As if they are the victims.
As if they are the truly. For real.
And even that area often catches my attention when clubs claim they are victims of hooliganism. Sometimes, seriously, excuse me, it dey funny me. It dey funny me. I've been to many venues in this country where fans have threatened journalists. In fact, I recall in 2016 when I was on a campaign asking media to boycott Great Olympic Games because they attack Senizon. SWAG released a statement on it. AIPS released a statement on it. I recall Doma, Felix Romack, and James Sower were.
Felix that was beaten.
I remember so well. I was told never to come to the stadium because I was on a tangent demanding that hooliganism should come to an end at match venues. None of these clubs have ever taken responsibility for the actions of their very own supporters. They would want their supporters to actually put fear in their opponents for them to walk away with the 3 points.
Yeah.
But when these incidents happen, then they claim they are victims. I recall the incident that happened in Swatraman between Real Tamale United and Swatraman FC.
Yep.
We all remember some of the things that happened in Swatraman to the extent that the people of Tamale or Real Tamale United also decided that they were going to revenge.
Yeah.
So when someone comes to tell me that, oh, the clubs are victims of hooliganism, who own the supporters?
Yeah.
Who is supposed to control the
They
supporters?
control them. In fact, and you see, let's also, I also want to be fair to the general supporting group of these clubs. There are some, in fact, most of them are very fine gentlemen and ladies who come to the stadium to watch.
Oh, that's very true.
These clubs have sometimes assembled group of hooligans who they use. We know
they have them.
It's not like when you go to Saturman, all the fans there are
not all the
hooligans.
fans.
Of course, all of them are shouting against Kotoko or Hearts or whoever is there. But the hooligans, you see, the act of hooliganism
It is even
different.
possible that you go to Nswatraman and there are people in Nswatraman who are supporters of Kotoko.
No,
It's very
yeah,
normal.
They are everywhere.
Yes, they are everywhere. But these club owners, right, have got boys who they themselves have turned into hooligans. So you see, when they come out with these days, nobody's going to shy away from and be trying to be politically right and be. We will tell you people, you the clubs, Hearts, Kotoko, Adriana, all of you people, for so many years, you have been looking on for people you people know, you people can identify, you people use for these acts. So when it happens, and we are talking about the real issues, don't come and own it and play the victim and you use it for your selfish gains. It won't happen.
Do you recall one All Stars versus House of Folk at this venue?
Yes.
One All Stars came to beat them 3-1.
Yes.
They broke chairs, they were
Yes.
throwing water
Yes.
bottles, everything
Yeah.
on the pitch.
Yes.
And it is the same House of Folk who is saying what? It's the same Kotoko who is saying what? Who destroyed the seats in Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex?
Bro, and finally, when we talk about security, you these clubs, stop putting all the responsibility on Ghana Police and Ghana Army. Every serious football club has a partnership with security agencies. All of them. And in Ghana, there are so many security companies. If you want 100 security personnel, you to go and pay money and bring at least 50 private security people. At least 50 of them. Let them work with the police. We see it everywhere, every day, everywhere. Every serious football club, every serious group, when they're having massive events, they employ other security agencies to beef up security. You, these clubs, you've not said anywhere, Kotoko has, that you've made it a point that wherever you travel to, or when you are playing at home, you are going with your own 50 security people. Ghana Police should give you 100.
You see,
you want military 20.
And I'll tell you why Kotoko cannot do what you are saying, because they have institutionalized hooliganism.
Oh yes,
Part of
what I said.
Part of the club culture.
Say Kotoko and House.
I'm coming. Part of the club culture requires having these thugs, right, as part of the club. So when they want to sack a coach and they don't want to go about it the legal way, they will send Seydou Mba to go and sack Zdravko Lugarizic. It happened.
Oh, but so how's the got rid of their?
I'm coming.
Yeah, he's coming there.
They will send Seydou Mba to go and sack Zdravko Lugarizic. In fact, Kotoko, they've done it twice in recent memory.
Yeah.
There is a David as for David Duncan, they moved the team to the Baba Ara Stadium.
Oh, David Duncan, that one, it was Opoku who strategically took them away. But it was the
These
first one
clubs
that they
have
sent
made the
the
habit
there.
of using their supporters. And you see, even when they don't explicitly tell the supporters go and do this. By their silence and their inactions, they sponsor
They're
it.
holding them.
Hearts of Oak. Just
about 3 seasons ago. Just about 3 seasons ago.
We saw how the club did not distance itself from the conduct of the thugs who stopped Slavko Matic from going to train their team. It only communicates one thing.
Yeah,
we accept this, we agree with this, and we like the fact that it happened. So when I hear Hearts of Oak officials, when I hear Nana Pinkra talk about the fact that they want some of these things, I'm sorry, but you are sharing responsibility. You are not victims, so Kotoko, you are willing accomplices. We were here last year when the same Kotoko, it happened under Nana Pinkra's watch. He did nothing. They went and ripped up seats of a facility that belongs to another Kotoko fan.
And they were throwing it onto the pitch.
In fact, he was a board member of the club, actually.
They destroyed the facilities there at the stadium. Kotoko did nothing. And for me, the most shameful aspect of it was where he mentioned in his long rant that even the GFA official, she is suing some Kotoko supporters for the conduct. Shouldn't they be sued?
They keep going to court and coming back.
But shouldn't
they've been dragging them to court?
It just be the tone of the press conference Kotoko have addressed. It just betrays the hypocrisy. Kotoko are not out for justice. Hearts of Oak, they are not out for justice.
They are always protecting their people.
They are not out for justice.
Yeah.
They are just seeking to shirk responsibility and then throw the responsibility on the GFA and get people to attack them. Otherwise, how do you have a problem with a thug who has gone to rip apart someone's property being taken to court? How is that a problem?
How is that a problem?
Look, even
to the extent that 2 years after the fact, a year after the fact, you have to come and sit in front of cameras and then say it. But you see, they say this because they know that a section of the supporters that they have are mindless. The Hearts of Oak and the Kotoko supporters, not just the two of them, but every club in Ghana, they have a component of their supporters who are mindless. They will not question that comments that club administrator or that coach or that player would make. So even if it doesn't make sense, they will support it.
In fact,
and for me,
you recall
for me, beyond everything, our clubs need to admit and realize this. Nothing is going to change if they do not change. Because if you go to the Accra Sports Stadium to watch a Ghana Premier League match, the inner perimeter, you will see so many people who are not authorized there with no accreditation. They are the ones just walking and strutting around there. When the referee makes a decision that they don't like, they are the first person the referee will meet before he enters the tunnel. So even the Accra Sports Stadium, if you are officiating there, you are not safe. Baba Yara Sports Stadium, the same. So this idea that Hearts of Oak will suddenly get up and they think that something has happened, so we have to hide behind it and pretend and pontificate piety, holiness, that as for us, yenya bonda, it is the GFA that is. Excuse me, you are hypocrites.
Actually, just hang on. You will continue. Do you recall in 2015, Hearts fans even tried attacking the then GFA president at the stadium?
Someone was arrested.
And he said he wasn't going to go to the stadium.
Do you recall Kotoko, a CAF Confederation Cup game? It took an armor car to get their players out of the stadium. So, and these are the very people who are saying that they are victims of hooliganism.
Players have suffered at the hands of these clubs who will send their own thugs to go and attack their own players. Coaches have suffered it. Zdravko Lugaric suffered it. We saw it. The GFA president, because I was in second when a woman, Mina Bedu, people in Takrady listening to me, they will, Bedu Weiss, that's how they call her in Tadi. She slapped Dr. Papa Kusindu. That matter ended up in court. Football administrators, players, even our senior man, Kotoko, it had to take Fred Krenzel, Frank Nelson to save him at the Accra Sports Stadium from Hearts of Oak fans. They were going to kill him. A few years ago, Kotoko supporters said that because your former colleague, Andy Pumaye, Max, he was running commentary of a Kotoko Karela game, and then the referee gave some penalty that he thought was not consistent with the regulations. So he said, as for this penalty decision, it is not consistent with what the rules and how they are supposed to be interpreted. You can disagree. They carried Andy Pumaye outside of the stadium.
So when people they have me all the time. They have me all the time.
you're mentioning other people's name. Me, Sichu. I'm running commentary on the Ghana Premier League. Kotoko plays hard. The Bruno Gamma penalty incident. And I'm in commentary, Fabio Gamma. I'm in commentary, I'm thinking that is not a pen. I think that is soft. Now, so obviously a lot of the Kotoko fans are in the stadium, they're not watching. After they eventually get the penalty, they score. I think they win by a goal to that game. The next time I'm going to go to to Kumasi to run commentary on Kotoko, they have armed fans who are waiting,
committee members
who are waiting to beat me that day to me. I no go Kumasi, and they didn't know that the jobs have then a dog. So they had been waiting for me like 3 months. And a Kotoko official tells me, "Hey, no me, I come back." I'm like,
and you see, it is that mindless.
So I'm telling you that
mindless behavior.
They should not. You see, none of us. It's not like we've not been part of the league before. I mean, I've covered the league for 3 years. I've gone to every single venue. I've covered the league. I see these things. These fans, these hooligans, are heavily motivated by you, the club administrators, and you know it. Stop pretending.
In fact, some of them will even tell you that we'll hand you over to the touching committee.
Yes.
The touching committee will teach you a lesson. Our very own boss, Godfrey Koto, ask him how he was properly beaten.
These days, the touching committees have become so accepted that the House of Folk and the Kotoko ones, they will hold Twitter spaces. Right, and plan. They will hold their discussions, and anyone who disagrees with them, you people, you are hypocrites.
Well,
the supporters, the club administrators, and the club owners. That is why, for me, when I went to the emergency meeting and I saw the body language of the people there, I came to one conclusion: this is a meeting of Ghana football's problems, pretending to be solving Ghana football's problems, nothing else.
Absolutely.
And for me, look, this is the one time I'll give the GFA a pass. I don't care. Yes, they are supposed to implement club licensing, but when the people you are working with decide that they have taken the law onto themselves.
But wait, why are you giving the GFA the pipe? Because everybody there is part of the GFA.
They are my focus. Well, thank you.
They are the people.
No, the GFA is the institution. The members are the class.
Yes. But
yeah, but they are the GFA.
For me,
no. Don't. You are playing semantics.
Let's
the GFA is made up of the clubs.
The microphones are off. For me, my focus is on these clubs because the hypocrisy it offends me, it annoys me. Like, you cannot be quiet about everything else that is happening. You had a role in it. You didn't do anything. These days, when referees come to the Accra Sports Stadium, they have to pray that nobody. See, the police can be on the sidelines, but that stone that is going to just crack your skull open, it will reach you before the police will get there to block it. The police they will not block what I say. So look.
Somebody was saying that how do people even get stones and things? I'm like, the stadium inside now. They don't even have to carry it into the stadium. Bro, do you know the facilities in which we play in Ghana? Like, it's like you go to Domaya asking how they get stones in there.
It is there. Inside the stadium.
And the place under construction is there. Go to Bechem. It is there. The thing is inside. Nobody has to put any stone in their pockets.
In 2015, when I had a conversation with Ulbek Ebrahim, the then PLB chairman, he actually told me how he was made to sit on the floor. PLB chairman sat on the floors to watch Okoro United play a Ghana Premier League match. And someone will tell me that the people, he said, even the officials,
let's talk about
those who are his friends, and are supposed to protect him.
It's okay.
We're not looking at him as though they don't know him.
It's okay. This is the last word.
Let's talk about the league that is properly managed and properly
organized. This is the last word
organized.
say about this matter. So if they want to kill themselves, we have done enough, right?
No, we'll be here to report.
This is part of the reasons we are in a hurry to run away from journalism. These people. This is Game Plan on Joy 99.7 FM, proudly brought to you by Petrosol and Betway. We'll be back after this short break.
Are you ready to get way more chances to win with Betway? Every single day, you have the key to unlock 5 free spins on Mega Money Wheel, where you stand to win a massive 1 million Ghana cedis jackpot. All you need to do is to log in and take your spin. Exclusive to Betway. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet the responsible way. Betway. Get way more.
Just like that, we're back. You're live on Game Plan on Joy 99.7 FM. Probably brought to you by Petrosol and Betway. Now, are you ready to get way more chances to win with Betway? Every single day, you have the key to unlock 5 free spins on Mega Money Wheel, where you stand to win a massive 1 million Ghana cedi jackpot. Charlie, Sichu, if you were to win the 1 million jackpot, what would you do with it?
Oh,
1 million Ghana cedis.
First, I'll pay my tithes, then I'll sleep, so that my brain. My brain will calibrate nicely. Calibrate nicely, because when you have that amount of money and you're not careful, you start fooling.
Yeah.
So I'll just sleep. Yeah. When I wake up, no, then I start.
Is that doing things some boys have been doing?
Yeah, if you're not careful, you start.
Did you hear the Brennan Johnson story?
What's the time? Charlie, it's hot afternoon. Kids have closed from school.
Okay, we'll save that for later. So you could win 1 million Ghana cedi jackpot. What are you waiting for? Log into www.betway.com.gh today and take your spin. All thanks to Betway. Terms and conditions apply. Remember, this is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Bet the responsible way. Betway, get way more. J&M Saloon and Spa, an award-winning and trusted brand situated in a serene and exquisitely designed environment. It is a one-stop shop for complete grooming and wellness. This Valentine, J&M Saloon and Spa has curated exciting spa experience with wine and chocolate for you and your loved ones. The services we're offering on this Val's Day and beyond include hair and barbering salons, spa pedicure, manicure, acrylic nails, therapeutic massages, skin analysis and facial rejuvenation, waxing, scraps, sauna and jacuzzi. J&M gift cards and curated spa package experiences for birthdays, bridal showers and Valentine. We're at Jowulu near Bolt Office. Find us on Google Maps. We're open from Tuesdays to Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. each day, and on Sundays we're open from 2 to 7 p.m. each day. You can reach us on 0549 733 405 or 0540 1151 34. On socials, we're on Instagram, Jane M Saloon Spa _ and on Facebook, Jane and M Saloon and Spa. For more details, reach us on www.janemsaloonspa.com. Jane M Saloon and Spa for your ultimate radiance. There's something wonderful that you need to know about, especially on a day like this. So welcome to Pizza World. At our eatery, we pride ourselves in serving mouth-watering dishes that cater to every taste bud. From our pizzas and flavorful shawarmas to our rice dishes and crispy fries, there's something for everyone. We sell pizza with chicken, meat, mushrooms, margarita, and veggies as toppings. Shawarma with chicken, beef combo, French fries, and grilled chicken as fillings. A variety of jollof dishes also with chicken, goat, beef, fish, or assorted. And lastly, fried rice that comes with chicken, goat, fish, beef, or assorted. We're running promos on Tuesdays where you get to buy 2 shawarma and get 1 free. On Wednesdays, you buy a medium pizza for only 50 Ghana cedis. And then on Thursdays, you buy 1 mega pizza and get 1 free shawarma. There's a Wicked Sunday promo as well. If you buy 2 large pizza for only you can buy 2 large pizza for only 200 Ghana cedis. We also provide catering services for companies. We can take care of your lunch, provide food at your events, dining, pickups, and delivery. Also available for whatever it is that you would want us to provide for you. Locate us at Domi Pillar 2, adjacent Ultimate Charismatic Center, or reach us on 0537 471 556 0537 471 556 in Kaswa. In Takrade, reach us on 053 7471 544. 050 121 5306 is our number in Takwa, or 055 154 422. Pizza World, made fresh daily. We're live on Game Plan on Joy 99.7 FM. We'll quickly get through some of your messages and then we'll get into the European conversation on the Champions League. And Arsenal will literally have every forward crocked and in the treatment room with the doctors. Good afternoon, Achu. I perfectly agree with you on the Kotoko and Hearts issue. They just know what they do. It even extends to the country entirely. Yeah, Chris, with that message there. Thank you very much, yeah, Chris. I think, right. As for Ghana football, okay, I think there are two of those messages. Okay, as for Ghana football, it's all about lamentations and runs. When will we be able to discuss it with excitement like the European leagues? Maybe we should pause sport in this country for some 5 years. Courage from Koforidia with that message. That's an interesting idea, that we can decide to suspend all sporting activities for the next 5 years. Need Tojo from Tema Newtown says, we meet here again, all for our country's betterment. Sports leadership in our country is dead. Only fights for their personal interests. That's why fans do away with a lot of misconduct. I'm sure he meant to say get away with a lot of misconduct there. Thank you, Nitojo, for that message. So yeah, back into the studio. Sijo, this week Arsenal confirmed that Kai Havertz is out for the rest of the season. What does that mean for their title ambitions?
Ooh, if it wasn't already over, this perhaps maybe then it's that is it, because Arsenal this season have struggled to finish off chances, and we've all attributed down to the lack of a proper number 9 goal scorer, somebody who has that at his job. I think that Kai Havertz in his own right has done considerably well. He's got a number of goals, but he's not the man to take you over that line, to give you that goals with regularity. He's a fine player who can do multiple things, stretch defenders, be physical in area duels and what have you. But when it comes to putting the ball in the back of the net and at crucial games or at crucial times, it's not been the man. And now he's injured. And it's not only the one injured. They've got Saka on that injury table. They've got Martinelli as well, who is injured. So Gabriel Jesus is out, and so they've got almost, in fact, when you look at the pecking order, their most important attackers, all of them are out. So they're left with Trossard, maybe Nwaneri and Raheem Sterling, which also presents a fine opportunity for Nwaneri to play a lot more games. But he's the kind of player you want in a title charge. Raheem Sterling, we know the quality that he's got. He's not been the same player since he left City, struggled at Chelsea, struggling at Arsenal. But with a run of games, can he be the player we thought would be coming to Arsenal to give them some spark? Well, only time will tell. But even if these three players get it going and they are firing, when you look on the bench for Arsenal, when they need to throw someone on into the deep end of games, into the attacking part of the game, they've got nobody really there to rely on. And so many have also rumored that maybe Mikel Merino could be stepping up to play a false nine. We'll never know how. Yeah, how Arteta is going to work that one. So it's a huge blow, massive blow. And if you're and it's not in Liverpool, you'll be looking over your shoulder and be happy that Arsenal do not have the Arsenals to battle you out to the rest of the season. I think it's a massive blow for Arteta. But that also then comes down to the poor planning of the squad for Arsenal, because all of us knew they needed a striker, and when they went into January with Gabriel Jesus out, with Saka's injury, we always knew they needed an extra body into the attacking part of their game. They didn't do that, and in the end they might pay for it big time with Kai Havertz out, and the trophyless season is looming.
Leicester this weekend.
Trophyless season for how many seasons running now?
Plenty.
But don't you think Merino could just get an opportunity and have a very good run? Because it's not been.
Like, I think he's a fine footballer when he's breaking into the box, right? When it's moving from middle of the park into the box. Even at Arsenal, he's not done enough of that, because Arsenal do not cross the ball as quickly as you'd expect them to do,
and as often
as you'd want them to do. Now, if Mourinho has to stay on centre backs as the number 9, I don't think he'll be great with his back to go. I might be wrong, I've not seen him do that. I just don't think that it's in his game to play with his back to go, to run into channels like a number 9 would do, to stretch defenders like a number 9 would do. And so I don't see how Mikel Mourinho works in that position. Mourinho? Yeah.
the idea of Merino is better than the reality of Merino.
Facts.
Like, people have this perception that he's some category B,
Yeah.
B plus.
Check like that BF.
Bro.
Bro, talk about the Euros. You know, there's something about tournaments. Like people have, but to be fair to him, proud to the Euros, he was having a very good time in the middle of like for Spain.
He's a good player.
And in La Liga as well, he did play well, but it's just not kicked on for him in Arsenal and in the Premier League. But yeah, Muftal says maybe it offers him an opportunity to show us another side of his game that we are not too sure of or accustomed to. I just don't see it. I really don't see it. And Arsenal are going to struggle big time. I thought they always had to bring in an extra body into the attack, which they didn't do, and in the end, it might be what would cost them the Premier League title if that wasn't gone already.
And I actually even think that the injury list of Arsenal is a bit scary, and at this point, many have always said that Mikel Arteta over the years has always been a promising coach, but he's yet to arrive at the destination people often think he would. And these injuries have just compounded that. I do not think that Arsenal will be in a better place. I would like to serve a humble pie, because if you have some of the key players like he's losing now, Odegaard, Saka, and now Kai Havertz, one man who often provides goals, though not as consistently as you'd expect.
He's the best scorer in the team.
Yeah, your top marksman to do. And Gabriel Jesus too hasn't been that man, who many of us actually thought moving from Manchester City was going to give an opportunity to be that main man in front of the attackers of Arsenal. Hasn't really shown that he is that man. So I actually think that Arsenal they are really going to struggle, considering the fact that these number of key players within the team are currently injured. And Arsenal, just brace yourselves up for another troughless season, as Sicho said. This one is Sicho's words, not my words.
Look, I've got a message for you, all of the investors. You know, the boys who aren't content with one or two slips, right? The ones who will pack 3 full scraps notebooks together in one go,
using 2 CD to make 2 million
cities.
To make 2 million cities.
Those boys. I've got a message for you. You know, we've all been there.
But you got the Betway.
That's where the message is coming from. We've all been there. You've placed that perfect multi-slip bet, and it's all going your way until it's not, and one or more picks let you down. Well, Betway's Bet Saver feature allows you to win. And even if your bet misses, you still are guaranteed something. Even on multiple losses, you can get your bet back and more. Bet Saver is exclusive to Betway. Get more with Betway. Terms and conditions apply. It's regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. But Betway is saying, even though the Bet Saver is available, bet the responsible way. Betway, get way more. So a bit of insurance for the multiple slip investors this weekend and beyond. Now, we have some good news for you if you're planning your bathroom renovation. This Valentine's season, Kimo Home is giving you more reasons to fall in love with your space. From February 13th, that's yesterday, to tomorrow, Saturday, February 15th, enjoy a massive 14% discount on selected sanitary ware, plus incredible deals you don't want to miss out on. Upgrade your bathroom with quality, style, and expertise only at Kimo Home. Visit their showroom on the Spintex Road near Manette Junction. Gin M Saloon and Spa is an award-winning and trusted brand situated in a serene and exclusively designed environment. It's a one-stop shop for complete grooming and wellness. This Valentine, Gin M Saloon and Spa has curated exciting spa experience with wine and chocolate for you and your loved ones. And so give that baby girl that treat today, because we will cut your hair for you at the Barbering Saloon, whatever style that you want, whatever hair treatments that you want. You've got the Barbering Saloon, and it's unisex, so you can walk in there with your partner and they will take care of you. We also have got the spa, pedicure, manicure, acrylic nails, therapeutic massages, skin analysis and facial rejuvenation, waxing, scrubs, sauna, and jacuzzi, all available for you. There is also the GNM gift cards and curated spa package experiences for birthdays, bridal showers, and this Valentine celebration. You can find us at Jowli near Bolt Office or on Google Maps. We're open from Tuesday through to Saturdays between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. and then on Sundays from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. Alternatively, you can reach us on 0549 733 405 or 0540 115 134. We're also on the various social media platforms. Jane M Saloon Spa _ that's on Instagram. Jane M Saloon Spa _ on Facebook. Jane -M Saloon and Spa. For more details, you can find more on our website, janemsaloonspa.com. Jane M Saloon and Spa for your ultimate radiance. Sijo, get your tactical board out and let's try to make sense of the Champions League match between Real Madrid and Manchester City. Obviously, it was their game of the round. So Bayern Munich won away to Celtic. Jeffrey Schlupp played his first Champions League game in 6 years. They lost by 2-1. AC Milan also lost to Feyenoord by 1-0. And then we saw Real Madrid beating Man City 3-2 for the first time at Etihad. Now, I was one of those people who were impressed but also surprised by the balance Madrid were able to achieve. All through the season, we have seen the disconnect between the midfield and the attack, especially when they don't have possession. But this looked different, although same structure, same players. What happened?
Yeah, I think it's also because of City's poor form and the lack of presence they have in the middle of the park. But I like what Pep did in that first half. And even though when the game started very early on, Madrid could have blown them away in the first 10-20 minutes by maybe 2 or 3 goals, they still stayed in the game. They still got control of the game because of what Pep did, because he played the back, virtually the back three of Ake, Diaz and Vardiol, and then at times John Stones will push further up into midfield. But what we saw more is that Vardiol would leave the back three and he would join John Stones, and then there would also be Akanji who would join. So they had almost like 3 defenders. So when you saw the lineup, you had 5 defenders. Yeah. So when they had the ball, to give them a better rest defense and keep them in good positions, so that when Madrid have retained the ball, they could win it back. We would have 2 centre backs behind 3 centre backs. So there was Diaz and Ake behind, Stones was in the middle of Vardiol on the left and Akanji on the right. Yeah. So I gave them a bit more of a good rest defense, even though it was shaky. They were all over the place a little bit in the early part of the game, but they came to terms with what the manager wanted. And in front of them was all the attacking players. So you could see a big separation between how City were set up to defend when they didn't have the ball, and then the bodies they are committed forward to try and get them the goals in Jack Grealish, Kevin De Bruyne, Savinho, Erling Haaland, Bernardo Silva. And those front 5 against Madrid back 5, that is what the disappointment was, because even though they had numerical advantage over Madrid's back 4, but those front 5 against Madrid back 5, they didn't make the most of it. And that for me came down to, if you like, confidence and form. De Bruyne got himself into very good positions at times, but he just wasn't the player we are used to. Bernardo Silva the same. Jack Grealish I thought had a decent start until his injury, then Fodi took his place. Erling Haaland, was in a physical battle with a very promising young defender, Raul Asensio. He was brilliant in the game for them. But then there is Real Madrid. Now, we spoke about, you spoke about it, Riley, so that the lack of balance in the Real Madrid team. I think in this game, we saw a more balanced Real Madrid side. And that is because Carlo Ancelotti has started trusting Dani Ceballos to do a job for him. Now, what Ceballos is able to do for Real Madrid is he doesn't pick the best of passes all the time, but he doesn't lose the ball. So Madrid have got, so unlike Toni Kroos, who he hold on to the ball and pick the best pass, or pick the pass nobody will see, Ceballos won't lose the ball, but he doesn't have the passing ability of Toni Kroos. Yeah. But not losing the ball for Real Madrid in this team against City was important, because when you have the ball and you haven't picking a 5-yard pass, it gives the team possession. It gives the team options for the front men to be in position. So what Real Madrid hadn't had at the start of the season was everything was at 100 miles per hour. Nobody really took control. Nobody really took anything out of the game to get players in good positions. But in the game against City, they had that, and that was in Dani Ceballos, right? And the fact that Jude Bellingham would go, join the front 3, make it 4 at times, caused up all the problems. But City have got a problem that we've seen over and over again this season. So in the second half, when Akanji got injured and then there was Rico Lewis who was supposed to step in. When he brought in Ike Gundogan, Madrid had them on toast. And that is what I love about Real Madrid, because they know they're the biggest club in the world. I think they are the greatest club in the world. But they've also got a real sense of humility and common sense about them.
Pragmatism.
Like, you know, when Barca were in form, Barca won't consider themselves a good team if they were not dominating games, irrespective of the opponents, because that was their mentality and that was their game in respect to that. Real Madrid don't care about that, because they also accept that even though we're the greatest club, there are times where we are not
necessarily be the better team.
Yes, but we must find a way to win.
We need to grant the resource.
And that is what they did in this game. There were times we were happy to let City have the ball, but they know that when they win the ball off City, that is where City are vulnerable. And this season we've seen it. So whereas in those days City will lose the ball, and even when they lose the ball, they're able to win it in dangerous areas and punish you. These days, when City lose the ball, they are vulnerable because they don't have the same tenacity about them and intensity to win the ball back. And Madrid did make that work. And Madrid have got so many players who are confident now. We've seen Kylian Mbappe is so confident. That ball that you scored on any other day,
it won't go in.
Like, it won't go in. Like
if he sky himself.
Bro, I bet £1. But when things are working for a player, these are the kind of goal they score. Yeah. Even when they miss hits, it turns out to be magical. Yeah. Vinicius Junior was man of the match of the day again. He's playing brilliantly. Jude Bellingham, the season starting, he wasn't scoring. He's found his goal scoring boots. Rodrigo has been a problem. And even those who come off the bench, Brahim Diaz, brilliant. And this is a Real Madrid team that went to the game without. They went with two central midfielders playing in their back four, in Valverde and Tchouaméni. Yet they were able to come out of that game with victory. I feel sorry for City, because this could have easily been a game they could have lost by 5-2. And to be fair, City will look back on that game and realize that they didn't miss chances. They didn't even create enough. And in fact, they might have overperformed or marginally performed.
And it's a trend that has continued for a while.
Yeah.
Remember the defeat to Arsenal?
Yeah.
Apart from the goal that City scored,
they were not creating.
Not that they were not creating. They didn't have an attempt on target.
True.
No, on goal.
Yeah. Yeah.
To go through 90 minutes and have that kind of start, it's damning.
Yeah. Because normally when Madrid have come into Champions League games, in big games, Thibaut Courtois has had to save them.
Yeah.
In this game, he didn't have that pressure on him. He didn't have a lot to deal with. And unfortunately for City, some of their big players are not in form, like Kevin De Bruyne, Edison. He's not playing. Bernardo Silva has lost his
legs. It's really difficult watching Kevin De Bruyne struggle to influence games just as he used to. I watch him like, is this the real Kevin De Bruyne who was always the key man dictating the tempo of games and creating the
Bernardo Silva is not the same. Ike Gundogan is not the same.
And you wonder what has really happened to these Manchester City players.
For me, and I think I've said this before, what is happening to City, the injuries, they're not even having long-term injuries.
That's the injuries is overrated.
It's natural. It is what should happen to any team that plays high-octane football and perhaps is the most intense in the world for 5, 6, 7 years.
With the same materials.
If you are not doping, if you are not finding artificial means of staying fit, wear and tear will set in the body.
Absolutely.
It is natural.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example. Remember the Klopp Dortmund team from 2015?
Yeah.
By December, they were battling relegation.
Yeah.
It is natural. So that will happen because the football that Pep plays requires a certain level of fitness to be able to execute the present schemes, even his rest defense, right? Because they will move around a lot.
Yeah.
So physically, they no longer are in the right condition, and no amount of fitness drills will restore that. You may get it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, but the body's capacity to recover and then be in optimum shape to execute those tasks is gone.
Yeah.
Because players are getting older.
But let me ask you this: if some of these same players leave Man City and talk about very competitive clubs, for example, if Bernardo Silva leaves Man City or left Man City over the summer and went to Bayern Munich, would he have played as tired as he's playing now? Or the different environment and the different challenge could have...
The different challenge will sustain you for a year, 18 months. But beyond that, as we've come to see from, and Real Madrid are experts at this, they know exactly when to move players on.
Oh, Maria, no emotions.
So you can see a player who is world class in their last season at Real Madrid, but the moment they move on to Real Madrid, it is not because the other team hasn't figured out how to use them. Yes, period of acclimatization, the new culture, new environment, all of that matters. But more often than not, it has been especially for players north of 30, 32 plus. It has been because Madrid accurately predicted their graph and knew when the decline will begin. So for such players, you may change an environment, you will escape it for a year, but it's like postponed death.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, and you see that there is the aspect of it that we've not paid attention to, which is the drive, the motivation.
Yeah.
Look, these guys have won. The only set of players in the world who have won more trophies. Even Madrid have not won more trophies than City in the period they've been successful. Madrid have won more important trophies.
Yeah.
But in terms of nominal figures, City have won.
No, they've swept a lot.
And the Champions League win came at a point where they were all. If City hadn't
That was
won
their
it
peak.
in that season,
Yeah, that was their
they would
peak.
not have won it.
That was the peak.
So they were literally fatigued, and it was the last thing on the checkbox. When you go through that,
And people forget that before you continue, people forget that 2 seasons ago wasn't too different from last season.
yeah,
Last season they went all the way to the FA Cup final. The final game of the season was also important to them, even though we knew they would win anyway, but they had to win.
and that's a very important point.
So it's like it's back-to-back season of almost
And
trying
it's
to win
been
the.
like that for about 4 or 5 years.
Yes, and so they've played like no team really maybe have played more games than
No.
this group of players.
None at all.
So the season before last season, they went to win the treble.
Yeah.
Which means they went to the final of the FA Cup.
And
And the final game of the Premier League was important
in
because yes, and they had to like that game. They didn't win the league weeks before the final day.
No.
The final day was almost like a final for them. Then they went to win the Champions League against
That was the Aston
International.
Villa match.
Yes.
The Aston Villa match.
Yes. Then they went to win the Champions League against Inter. Last season, they had to beat Kuduse's West Ham and beat them well
On
to
the final day.
confirm they were
And
champions.
then played in the FA Cup.
Playing the FA Cup final against Man United. The only thing is they lost out to Real Madrid in the quarter final, going 2 legs, going to extra time and on penalties with Real Madrid. So when you look at the sheer energy they've exerted in the last 3 or so years, that is quite something.
Final thing on the Champions League, though, we've seen Bayern Munich put together a functional performance, if you like, against Celtic.
Yeah.
Again, it is another win that Bayern Nick. It's another game where people look at that and go,
Yeah.
maybe against a more credible. What else do Bayern need to do before we start giving them their flowers? Or there are real issues there to look at?
No, I think you've got real issues, and what people expect Bayern to do is dominate games, be clinical, score lots of goals. That is Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich historically have always scored lots of goals. This Bayern Munich seem not to do that, even though they lead their league, and even though they look like they'll go past Celtic. But that is not enough when it comes to Bayern Munich. The question is, are these performances good enough to win you the big title, which is the Champions League? And many people feel it is a no. I think the problem that Vincent Kompany has got is, again, the problem that many managers who have come to the club in recent years have faced. It is his midfield combination. Who are the best fits in the middle of the park? Kimmich is difficult to move on. You've got Goretzka, who it looks like nobody wants him, and Bayern Munich can get him off the books. You've got Palhinha, who struggled to fit into what Vincent Kompany perceives as his midfield type, and that maybe is affecting the whole team's balance, because up front, once the ball crosses the midfield, they look different, right? But it is when they need to create things from the middle of the park, it is when they need to work things out, keep control, hold on to the game, shoot from distance, change the tempo of the game. That is what they don't have in the middle of the park. And the other problem too is Vincent Kompany traditionally is not a manager. I've seen from Berlin and what have you, even what he's tried to do with Bayern Munich, that likes to play the 4-2-3-1, but he's had to find a way of playing that because he doesn't necessarily want to use Jamal Musiala as a wide forward player, and the only other position that boy can play is in behind the striker. He can also play in the midfield 3, Jamal Musiala. So he's had to accommodate that. Now once you do that, you need to find a perfect combination for the 2 deep midfielders who will be behind him. Certainly not Kimmich, Goretzka. Certainly, Lima does a job, but who is his best partner? Palhinha does a job, but who would be a better number 8? These are the questions that Vincent Company keeps asking. If they find the right balance in the middle of the park, I think that could work for them.
You know what I took from that last bit on the midfield combinations?
Yeah.
There was something wrong with the squad planning and the recruitment they've done over the years.
Yeah, truly. Yeah.
Deco Crafts Limited is into the production of premium chocolate from Ghana's rich cocoa beans. The chocolates produced come in a variety: chocolate bars of milk, dark and white chocolates, filled chocolates, which is a three-dimensional chocolate figures, and baking chocolate or baked chocolate. The chocolates have been certified by the Food and Drugs Authority. Our prestigious chocolate brand is Kabi, which in Twi translates to so it's Kabi. Which in Twi translates to take a bite.
Take a bite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kabi.
So
what am I mean Kabi? Me chi aba o. Me TV catch you off.
This one don't be chasing. This one you buy in bulk. You buy and give.
Me see. Me patch the say. Me chi aba.
Okay. Yeah, again, but I'm saying that go and buy in bulk for the kids and for madams.
They say they want chocolate.
Buy for them. If they say no, you can spread the love to other people.
When are you going to buy for your madam?
Oh, me. Immediately we get out of the studio. So pick your favorite Kirby chocolates at all Palace Mall branches across Ghana, Migmarts, Wild Gecko, Snedder and Asempa wholesale shops. Call us on 0243 827 724. What a way to kick off 2025. Holiday in Airport City is now Palms by Eagles in Charlie. As for Palms, I know them. I know them from my days in Takrady. Fantastic place.
Yeah, solid place. I've been lovely place. I've when I'm in Takrady, I stay there.
I love their greens.
Yeah, it's massive.
Yeah,
and they have one just around airport.
Right.
Yeah, very nice one there.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I haven't checked out any Palms facilities since I came to Accra, but I can vouch for them. Palms, they're solid.
When you marry, I will get you a place to sleep there. When you marry.
They are offering a fresh, delightful experience. The newly improved hotel is ready to welcome you with unmatched hospitality in the heart of Ghana. So don't miss our Sunday brunch with assorted flavors at a discounted rate of 300 Ghana cedis. And Charlie, these days things are hot. Right, the brunch anywhere else is expensive, but don't follow cheap and go and get some. Come to Palms by Eagles, right, and pay 300 Ghana cedis on Sunday and enjoy with assorted flavors with your family. But the 300 Ghana cedis is per head. I need to clarify. So come and experience elevated hospitality like never before at Palms by Eagles. Today Val's Day is a good day to try this. We've got good news for you if you're planning your bathroom renovation. This Valentine's Day, Kimo Home is giving you more reasons to fall in love with your space. From February 13th to the 15th, that's tomorrow on Saturday, you can get to enjoy a massive 14% discounts on selected sanitary ware, plus incredible deals you don't want to miss. Upgrade your bathroom with quality, style, and expertise only at Kimo Home. Visit their showroom on the Springtex Road near Manette Junction. That's how we're going to end this afternoon's conversation on Game Plan on Joy 99.7 FM, probably brought to you by Petrosol and Betway. My name is Victor Achitanakwe. Thank you, Sicho, for coming. Thank you, Muftar Nabila, and also to Dr. Collins Bedu Ajiman of the Ghana Psychologists Council for joining us on Game Plan today. That's our show for today. Next is Right.